What is sex education? According to WHO, sex education is defined by the concept of holistic sexuality education, which refers to a learning process about the cognitive, emotional, social, interactive, and physical aspects of sexuality. It mainly aims at helping parents to enlighten their children in the context of personal hygiene, self-reverence, self-control, and true modesty. It also assists the children with knowledges, skills, and good values to comprehend and enjoy their sexuality, have a safe and harmonious relationships, plus teach them to be a responsible person for their own and other individuals' sexual health and well-being. Topics and the syllabus of sexual education started with the prevention of unintended pregnancy in 1960s to 1970s. It continues with the prevention of human immunodeficiency virus (HIV) in 1980s, and in 1990s, the awareness about sexual abuse, finally embracing the prevention of sexism, homophobia, and online bullying from 2000 onwards. Nowadays, sex education focused on the topic about puberty and reproduction, abstinence, contraception and condoms, relationships, sexual violence prevention, body image, gender identity, and sexual orientation. Is sex education important in our life? Yes, sex education is important in our life as it will keep us aware with our body safety and health conditions. Furthermore, students could get the awareness of reproductive and sexual health along with the prevention of sexually transmitted diseases and unwanted pregnancies. It also helps students to recognize any signs of sexual harassment and sexual abuse that could happen to them or in the society. Other than that, sex education could also help youngsters to identify and describe the examples of any harmful practices that could lead to sexual abuse. And all these matters show that sex education is actually following the Islamic purposes, Maqasid Syariah, which is to protect the dignity of human being.
The next part is the implementation of sex education to the young people. United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization (UNESCO) had introduced comprehensive sexuality education, which is a guideline of curriculum based that provide life skills education, family life education, and HIV prevention education. The CSE aims to ensure that all young people to develop the knowledge and skills to make conscious, healthy, and responsible choices about their relationships and their sexuality. Hence, the responsible in delivering the CSE was given to the family members, health workers, and teachers in school. Moreover, CSE in schools was led by trained teachers and professionals that focused on development, practical skills, and knowledge that is scientifically accurate and comprehensive. The next implementation is the sex education in Malaysia. In Malaysia, there is no single subject called sex education. Only its elements are taught in various subjects. For example, the subject of physical and health education, pendidikan jasmani dan kesihatan. This subject offered in both primary and secondary levels under a chapter Family Health Education, and this chapter is comprising a marriage, family issues, and issues related to teenagers. Next example is the subject that related to the science. For example, additional science, biology, and science. This subject is discussed about offspring and variation, human anatomy, and reproductive system. And the last subject is Islamic education that focus on marriage and family institution, and also issues on cleanliness and sexual and gender issues.
Method of teaching sex education based on Sharia parameters. Sex education is very important to every student, so that shows the reason of why teaching and learning of sex education is allowed in Islam. In Al-Quran and also Hadith, there are many discussions related to sex. The element which exist in sex education should have the good Islamic value. So, sex education is also about knowing physiology of the human body and unwanted pregnancy from the illegal sex. Here, unwanted pregnancy from the illegal sex which prohibited between the boy and the girl. Islamic scholars have discussed issues arise related to sex. For example, stated from Abdullah Nasir Ulwan. He stated that sex education should be learned to children in a clear and detailed manner about lust, shahwat. The children are responsibility for parents, so as a parent we need to protect our children from everything or some negative impact on their moral. About the sex education, it should be learned according to the age level. For example, at the age 7 until 10 years old, children should be learned about the adab, which is manner. At the age 10 until 40 years old, children should be learned on how to avoid themselves from lust, shahwat. The manner of sexual relationship may be exposed to them when they are in range from 40 until 60 years old. When they have arrived at the Akil Baligh, they need to be learned on how to take care of honor and also self-respect. Now look at the statistic with the highest pregnancy rate out of wedlock in years 2060. Based on Berita Harian Malaysia, it was reported that among 40 states in Malaysia, Sabah is the highest cases with 3,084. Then it was followed by the second highest state from Sarawak with 2,910 cases and Selangor with 1,461 cases. The second lowest is Johor with 1,319 cases and the last lowest is Pahang only with 840 cases. The cases out of wedlock include age between 60 until 19 years old, so between that age is suitable period for learning the manner of sexual. The next method that could be applied is teaching the children about the sexual education at the school. Teachers need to explain the details about the sex because as a Muslim, the children have the right and need to know about it. At the same time, the curriculum should be tailored according to the age of child and classes should be separate between boy and girl. Okay, now we look the role of parent. As we know, parents have to assume a more responsible role to teach sex education to their children. We can hardly influence the sex education should be learned in public school or by the media. But it also can supplement that with moral dimension, aiding family love and also responsibility. In Islam, anything which lead to wrong is also considered wrong. So that means parents should control their children in everything condition. For example, parents should control the music children are listening and also need to practice with dating should not be allowed. In summary, Muslim parents should teach their children that they are different from non-Muslim in their value system and way of life.